Jim Carrey was God? Well, in the film Bruce Almighty, anyway. As far as I'm concerned, it was one of those laugh till you cry movies that showed what happened when an ambitious TV reporter is temporarily given God's powers. But beyond the inane hilarity that only Carrey can set loose, the movie did deliver a serious message. It's all about not seeing your blessings, said Carrey to USA Today. A problem which he said is, quote, a common thing for a lot of people. Now, although Carrey is long past almighty, he still knows the power of counting his blessings. In fact, he reports that he is in the habit of making a list of things that he's grateful for. In words that you might not expect from an A-list Hollywood actor, he says, I would challenge anybody in their darkest moment to write what they are grateful for. Even stupid little things like green grass that made them feel good. The friendly conversation they had with somebody on an elevator. You start to realize how rich you are. Count your blessings. Remember to be grateful. Realize how rich you are. Take the time to give thanks for everything that has been given to you. Jim Carrey does. And so does that 10th leper. In today's passage from Luke, Jesus, as Willie Nelson sang it, on the road again, moving between Samaria and Galilee on his way to Jerusalem. And he enters a village. 10 lepers approach him, call out from a distance because they can't get too close. Jesus, Master, have mercy on us. As desperate as these 10 are for healing, they dare not approach Jesus directly. As unclean people, they know their place. Their community has made it very clear to them. They know that they are to keep distance, to live on the margins, outside of the community. People of Jesus' time lived in mortal dread of leprosy. It's a term that was really described almost any kind of skin rash that looked like it was getting worse. Everyone thought that those lesions were radically contagious. Socially, lepers were the lowest of the low. People who were believed to have leprosy lived on the very outskirts of every town. They depended purely on charity to survive. Most of the time, they would band together to become communities of total misery. No Jew was permitted to have anything to do with them, not even if one of them was a member of their family. Instead of ignoring them, as the law would command him, Jesus turns towards them. And he gives them a rather unusual command. Go and show yourselves to the priests. While it may sound like a non sequitur to us, those who heard Jesus knew something was up. Because you see, only the priest could officially certify that a person was truly clean and able to return to their families, to find work again, to be part of the community again. And Jesus was telling these 10 to go on, check in. Something is going on here. Something wonderful and mysterious and tingling with the healing power of God. And as those lepers make their way toward the priest, suddenly their skin is miraculously clean. The scales fall. And one of them, the 10th leper, turns on his heels and races back to Jesus, praising God, shouting those praises. And then he falls on the ground in front of Jesus' feet, thanking him profusely. But he's the only one to give thanks. 1 out of 10. Weren't there 10 of you? Asked Jesus. Was he miffed? Incredulous? Where are the other 9? Only one takes the time to count blessings. Only one bothers to come back to Jesus and say, thank you. Now, a 10% gratitude return is pretty pathetic. But are we doing any better? Keep in mind that the other 9 lepers did exactly what Jesus told them. They were obedient. They followed instructions. They were doing the will of God. Can't fault them for that. But gratitude and thanksgiving move us beyond the standard, the acceptable, the ordinary. A gracious attitude and lifestyle make one extraordinary, unusual, blessed, a cut above. And interestingly, research conducted by Robert Emmons of UC Davis and Michael McCullough of the University of Miami appears to show that people who count their blessings find themselves sleeping better, exercising more, and caring more about others. People who remind themselves of the things they are grateful for, the people who count their blessings one by one, consciously every day, show significant improvements in mental health and even some aspects of physical health. And these results appear to be true whether you are a healthy college student or an older person with an incurable disease, according to research also done and reported out in the Journal of Psychology and Social Psychology. Now, you may be a leper on your last leg, but you're going to benefit from counting your blessings. Here's how the study was performed. College students were asked to fill out a weekly report of the things for which they were grateful. They listed things like generosity of friends, and some said the Rolling Stones. I get it. Another group made up of adults with incurable diseases such as polio were asked to write down the things that made them thankful. And then they had comparable groups who were asked to count their hassles instead of their blessings. And they listed things like can't find a parking space, finances depleted. Instead of focusing on how rich they were, members of those groups focused on their poverty, on their need. And the results were predictable. In the end, the grateful groups felt better about their lives and more optimistic about their prospects. The thankful college students expressed exercise more, and the chronically ill adults who focused on blessings reported sleeping better and waking up more refreshed. The members of the grateful groups were also nicer to neighbors and more willing to help others with personal problems, which led the researchers to conclude that gratitude can serve as a moral motivator. Being thankful is good for your physical, mental, and moral health. And it doesn't seem to matter what you are grateful for, as long as you count your blessings consciously. Think about it. You can appreciate green grass, or generous friends, or loving family members, or pleasant elevator conversations. You could even thank God for the Rolling Stones. But the biggest surprise comes when it is revealed that the 10th leper is a Samaritan, which meant this leper was doubly outcast. Samaritans were considered low-life losers, second-class citizens, members of the wrong race, region, or religion. And yet, this Samaritan is the only one to count his blessings and show his gratitude. And according to Jesus, that makes all the difference. The other 9 were only concerned with the healing of their bodies. The 10th had found healing in his soul. We, as none of them found to return and give praise for God except this foreigner, really? Then he says to the Samaritan, get up. Go on your way. Your faith in God has made you well. Jesus kind of slams the 9 perfectly respectable lepers who went on their way without so much as a thank you. The 9 self-centered lepers who had so much to do that they couldn't take a nanosecond to return to Jesus and express gratitude. Really that busy? Your faith has made you well. Jesus gives him a fist bump and a high five, not so much for the faith that asks for healing, but for the faith that returned to give thanks. After all, it's a grateful faith, not a genuine faith, that saves us. Each and every one of us could no doubt use some of that soul healing that the 10th leper received, couldn't we? We won't find it until we're able to count our blessings. So what have you forgotten to say thank you for? It won't be very long before we kick off our stewardship campaign for 2020, and then a capital campaign on top of that. Yes, I'm talking about finances. Our challenge in getting ready for both of those is to count our blessings, large and small, profound and seemingly insignificant. To be grateful for the one who is the source of every good and gracious gift. You know, you and I don't deserve a thing. Whether it's green grass, or mischievous kids, or caring co-workers, or healthy hearts, it is all, my friends, a gift. Every piece, every nanosecond of life is a gift. And so our attitude toward each day should be absolutely thick with thanksgiving, great with gratitude. The Harvard Mental Health Newsletter offered some ways to cultivate gratitude on a regular basis. Here's what they offered up. First, write a thank you note. You can make yourself happier and more mature in your relationships with one another by writing a thank you note. It tells you should create a habit of sending one once a month. Send one thank you letter to somebody. 2, if you're not into writing or that's too revealing for you, thank somebody mentally. Just think about someone who has done something nice for you, something significant in your life, and mentally thank that person. That you could do every day without a sweat. Or another suggestion was to keep a gratitude journal, which in fact Jim Carrey does. Write down or share with a loved one thoughts about the gifts you receive each day. Count your blessings. Pick a time, start every week, to sit down and write down concretely what you are feeling blessed for. Reflecting what went right, or what you are grateful for. And finally, they suggest prayer. Use prayer to cultivate your generosity. If we can remember to be grateful, we're going to find ourselves healthier in body, mind, and spirit. We'll feel better about our lives, more optimistic about our prospects, and more helpful to the people around us. After all, Jesus proclaimed it, and modern research confirms it. A grateful faith can make us well. Thank God for the riches that roll our way. Amen.